Greetings to Madam NORAINI binti ZAINUL ABIDIN. We're going to present our problem case audit DPA 50153. I'm NORAINI binti Hassan, 01D8020F2003.
My name is Darishana Pupamila Lilis Adon. My matric number is 01D8020F2012.
My name is Yoshini Magadavan. My matrix number is 01D8020F2013.
Hello, my name is Harshini Ravi. My matrix number is 01D8020F2018.
I will proceed with case 1. Case 1 provide need, identify and explain the ethical and professional issues, raise and recommend any action which should be taken in respect of the matter described by the audit senior. So, for the answer, ethical and professional issue, we have 6. Number 1, compliance with laws and regulations. Firstly, it appears that Greenwood Hospital is being kept and might be using pharmaceutical that have been beyond their last day of use. This may be illegal, might go against the term of their agreement with their supplier, and perhaps most significantly could result in patient harm. So the audit team should seek appropriate legal advice in relation to use of out-of-date pharmaceutical. If this is a breach of a regulation, then the auditor may have a statutory duty to report this incident to the relevant regulator. Second, impact on financial statements. It is not correct for management to assert that the issue with out-of-date inventory is not relevant to the audit, because if any of the inventory is obsolete, then it should be written off in the financial statement. So company HY and Co should report this matter to those charged with governance and request that they provide access to the necessary evidence. So the third one is management integrity. While intentions of management are not clear, it does appear that they are trying to conceal a matter with some implication from the auditor. The audit team must hire their skepticism of all evidence provided by management, particularly a written presentation obtained from management, as they may be subject to bias and evidence which they could potentially manipulate. Example like internal spreadsheet. If audit team are given access to the inventory valuation spreadsheet, they must remain cautious for any indication that this has been subsequently altered. I will pass to Suhasini.
Okay, thank you, Bainul. So now I will continue explaining the ethical and professional issues by the confidentiality. Reporting the incident where the auditor to report information about client to a third party, which is breach of client confidential. In this circumstance, however, regulatory responsibility will be considered to outweigh the confidential requirement. For example, the HY and Co should seek legal advice before they act to minimize the risk of legal dispute with their client or legal actions from the regulator due to the inactions. It concludes that the matter should be reported to a regulator. They should first communicate this belief to the board of Greenwood Hospital and request that they make a disclosures. Other than that, audit firms are required to maintain the quality control procedures, which to ensure that their audits are conducted in accordance with professional standards and that their audit reports are reliable and accurate. That actions that can take is the audit senior should ensure the audit procedures are conducted with the professional standards that audit reports are reliable and accurate. Lastly is intimidation trait, where the aggressive actions of the finance director amount to an intimidation trait to objective. The finance director has tried to influence the conduct of the audit with threatening behavior. For example, HY and Co. should inform those charged with governance, explain the significance of the matter, that it cannot be tolerated. So it must explain the reasons for the inquiries made by the audit team and significance of being allowed to complete these procedures. So next, I will give to my another members to explain about case study 2.
Now I continue with case number 2. The question is, in the line with ACCA's Code of Ethics and Conduct, clarify and explain the factors must be considered before the internal audit engagement should be accepted. Okay, as an audit manager of Energy and Co., the decision of accepting the role of internal auditor for Mutiara and Co. must be evaluated. Keep in mind the ethical principles mentioned in ACCA Code of Ethics and Conduct. The following three fundamental principles should be applied. Firstly, integrity. The auditor must always act frank and truthfully in their interaction with others in the workplace. Number two, objectivity. The auditor must maintain their professional judgment and not let prejudice, conflicts of interest, intimidation, or other improper pressure interfere. Number three, professional competence and due care. The auditor is required to keep their knowledge and expertise at the level necessary to guarantee their client to receive competent professional services.
Now, I'm going to present the factors should be evaluated before accepting the internal audit engagement of Mutiara & Co. First of all, we take a look independence factor. As Mutiara & Co. is a listed company and the audit engagement partner has a potential conflict of interest due to her son's employment, it is crucial to examine whether any relationships or interests can affect the auditor's independence. The second one is competence and capability. The auditor must ensure they have the necessary skills to perform the internal audit functions. The establishment of an internal audit function requires an understanding of the company's operations and internal control environment, and the auditor needs to access the ability to carry out the role effectively. The third one is conflict of interest. It is essential to identify any potential or existing conflicts of interest that may impact the auditor's objectivity or independence. If the auditor provides both external and internal audit services to the same client, they need to consider the impact of the proposed remuneration structure and the alignment of interest with the company. The fourth one is legal regulatory requirement. The auditor must ensure that they are appointed as internal auditors complies with all legal and regulatory requirements and standards. Fifth one is fees. The proposed fee structure must be evaluated to determine whether it is reasonable and proportionate to the services provided. The proposed fee structure based on profits after tax could potentially impact the independence and objectivity of the auditor and may create a conflict of interest. Now I pass to Davisha.
Number 6, scope of work. The scope of the internal audit engagement must be clearly defined and agreed upon with the client, including the objectivities, deliverable, and timelines. Number 7, resources. The internal auditors must be access the adequate resources, including personal budget and technology, to perform the engagement effectively and efficiently. Number 8, communication. The internal auditor must establish open and effective communication with the client to ensure the any issue or concern are properly addressed. Lastly, ethical consideration. The internal auditor must be mindful of ethical consideration, including confidence, objectivity, and professional behavior throughout the engagement. Now I pass with Yoshni.
In conclusion, it is essential to weigh the risk and benefits to accepting the internal audit engagement and ensure that the principle of integrity, objectivity, and professional competence and due care are adhered to. The proposed remuneration structure and any conflict of interest must be evaluated and steps must be taken to safeguard the independence and objectivity of the auditors. That's all from us. Thank you.